Okay, I gotta admit, this might sound like super petty, but hear me out. As the Resident Evil games progressed along the original timeline, something caught my attention. I'm not talking about the character's personality or even their character models. No, I'm talking about something way more crucial: the hair. Now, I know this sounds a bit strange, especially in a world teeming with zombies, tyrant creatures, and massive 20-foot sharks. You'd think getting worked up over hair would be ludicrous. But hold on a second, let me explain my point. When a series is set in the real world, where a virus can turn people into the Walking Dead, you'd expect characters living in that world to be adhering to the rules. It's all about maintaining consistency. You know, like if Jill happens to be the daughter of a locksmith, then naturally assume that she'll have those skills been passed down to her, hence she can pick locks.
Here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Thanks. Maybe I'll need it.
And let's be real, cars don't just sprout wings and fly off. Everything should be grounded in reality. Sure, I get it. There's a room for some artistic license, like being able to drop a gun and miraculously fall to the floor faster than the gun itself. Ooh, that wasn't supposed to happen. My son's not going to be too pleased. But those are subtle suspensions of disbelief, and we can let that slide. In a nutshell, my point is that while hair might seem like a trivial detail, it's a part of a bigger picture. It's about keeping the game's world consistent, so we can fully immerse ourselves in reality. When it comes to Resident Evil games, they offer us a unique glimpse into the lives of our beloved protagonists. Unlike RPG games where you have the freedom to create and develop your character's skill and shape their personality, Resident Evil takes a different approach. We are presented with snippets, glimpses of what our characters go through. Chris, for instance, updates us on their discoveries at the Spencer Mansion. We may not actually directly play these moments, but within the universe, they undoubtedly took place.
A few years ago, the BSAA received intel as to the whereabouts of Umbrella's founder, Oswell E. Spencer. Jill and I were ordered by the BSAA's European headquarters to apprehend him. We accepted that mission in the hopes of uncovering some info that would lead us to Wesker.
So, if we're abiding by the rules of this world, it's only logical to assume that these characters, being normal, everyday humans, experience the everyday aspects of life. They sleep, they eat, they cry. They are not devoid of emotions. They feel fear, happiness, and everything in between. Resident Evil provides us with a deeper understanding of our protagonists, fleshing out their lives beyond the confounds of gameplay. It adds a layer of realism and relatability, reminding us that we're not mere avatars, but manufactured individuals with their own struggles and triumphs. In essence, by adhering to the established world rules, the inclusion of these human experiences enriches the storytelling, making the characters more tangible and engaging for us as players. So, considering these characters go through all these experiences, begs the question, why wouldn't they change the hairstyle or colour? And let's talk about Jill. In the original, she transitioned from a bob cut to long hair and even went blonde. All right, that was time in the tank, but nonetheless, it had still long brown hair when it was in the original games, and now it's cut short. Now, you might think this sounds trivial, but let me tell you, the women I know, the women I actually do know, they take great pride in their hair. They love styling it and colouring it and changing it up. It's hard for me to believe that between Resident Evil 3 and Death Island, which is set 16 years later, Jill would still support exactly the same hairstyle. It's bad enough that she's still wearing the same clothes. Even Rebecca, who we see has made slight changes to her hairstyle, demonstrates that these things can happen. It's not an exact replica, the cut is slightly different, the highlights may vary. In a world where these characters have gone through so much, it seems only natural that their personal style would evolve too. Hair is an important part of one's identity, and it's often a reflection of their personality and their growth. So it's not just about being pretty, it's about adding depth or authenticity to these characters. those small, nuanced details that contribute to making them feel like real people within the game's universe. Now, it's true that Leon sported the similar haircut since his time in Raccoon City. For the best part of 25 years, he's been rocking that iconic 90s curtain look, a bit with a slight variation. But there's the thing. When it comes to guys, I can't really speak for myself, guys tend to stick to their hairstyles with the minor changes. Maybe it's just a bit shorter at times or slightly different cuts. But they wouldn't go from super short style to long hair, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand some guys do actually make drastic changes, but generally speaking, I am generalizing here, guys probably wouldn't look too different. However, when it comes to girls and women, it would be nice to see a bit more variation. I get it, they want to use the same model and they use for the remake, and it's probably why we don't see the changes. But here's the thing. They haven't even included the scars from Wesker's mind control device. They acknowledge this in the film.
You mean how Wesker brainwashed her and made her come after us? No one's blaming Jill for that.
No one. Except Jill.
Which makes me think it's either going to be a remake of 5 or they simply forgot about those scars. Probably the latter. I know there are reasons behind these decisions and models' consistency or oversight, but as a player, it would have been great to witness some diversity in the character appearances. After all, it's those small details that contribute to the overall immersion and the realism of the game. Death Island is hitting the screens this month, and honestly, I can't say for certain if they'll address the issue of Jill's unchanged appearance. They've given a vague explanation as to why she still looks the same in her 1999 incarnation, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. By the way, if you haven't had a chance to experience the original Resident Evil 3 game, you absolutely need to give it a go. Trust me, it's filled with some of the most memorable moments in Resident Evil history. In fact, I've compiled a video showcasing my personal favourites from that game. And you can check it out in the video that's on screen now. And don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. I'll see you survivors next time.